everybody. It's Melissa Swader here in the studio today with Real Talk, Real Business, Real People. And I am so excited because inside the studio, I have the amazing Ingrid Tucker. She is with SVN Desert Commercial Advisors. She has an incredible background. She's been with SVN a little over a year, but so much has happened. The change over to commercial real estate from where she started to where she actually has been, and where she's going is going to be absolutely a story you do not want to miss. So welcome to the studio.
Thank you, Melissa. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so let's just talk about, as I've mentioned before, on some of my shows, that I like to bring in, Valley thought leaders and, small business owners to come in and talk about their business and, what it is in today's culture. And, as I mentioned, especially some of my podcasts prior to this, is that, economically, Arizona took this big hit and we're just getting back into the groove again. So we're going to talk a little bit about that, but let's just talk about your background. So
Sure.
You came from you were in management. You came from a multifamily development. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Sure. Yeah. So, I'm originally from Seattle. So moved to Arizona to go to school.
Okay.
I love Arizona. I've lived here for over 17 years. Yeah. But yeah, I did. I got into management with a very well-known apartment development and management company here in Arizona. And I worked for them for almost 15 years.
Wow.
So that's kind of my background prior to getting into commercial real estate.
What made you go into commercial real estate? Why the move? Because you were, you received awards. You were development awards at this previous company, right?
Yep. Yeah, I won one of their Manager of the Year awards, and then the last development project I was on won the development award through the AMA Association. So that's really what kind of piqued my interest, was that specific project. I absolutely loved it. It was located in downtown Gilbert.
In the real estate development. Mm-hmm.
And just working closely with that developer was so fun for me. I absolutely loved it, start to finish. And just seeing his vision come to life and being able to help him and walk him kind of through that, I loved it. So that's what made me decide to kind of change industries. And
real estate, you guys, if y'all don't know this, real estate is not just about, residential real estate is very different from commercial real estate, right? So, commercial real estate, you are really hands-on from like the moment that you're working with your client to, having a listing, that you're representing, say, a retail, center. Well, in fact, if you were representing this building right now, this would be a freestanding building that we're in. And then you have to work with these clients, you have to walk them through all their financials, there's so much detail, right? So so you made the move over to SVN Desert Commercial Advisors in Phoenix. Make sure you guys actually check out the link. I will post the website right here. You can catch Ingrid and read her bio and read all the amazing things about her, on top of learning about her here. So explain that move.
So yes, so I chose to start my career with SVN. I love they have an actual national platform of advisors that you get to reach out to. You can actually work with. I love that about SVN. So yeah, I've worked with them for a little over a year, and when I actually started kind of looking at the different specialties, I really was drawn to retail. So it's kind of my passion, and so that's what I've been focusing my attention
Fashion
on.
diva, y'all. That's why she's into retail.
Retail is fun. Yeah, I love it. So I've been kind of focusing right now on landlord and tenant representation.
Okay.
And I actually have 2 new listings in Mesa, Arizona currently.
And these are so you guys, most of you all know from previous, I'm the SVN marketing, director of marketing and PR, and I'm the director of administration at this brokerage. We're a top 10 brokerage in the state of Arizona. Among the SVN network, we're always pushing through. We're full service. So, she chose retail, but we do have multifamily, You know, we have multifamily, we have office, we have land, we have retail developments, ground up developments where we're, you know, investors are coming in and they're buying some of the land up and then, you know, working with architectures, engineers, and then designing these beautiful, these entertainment, you know, retail shopping centers, and then you're like really in it. But these ones out here, Tableland,
Village and Main Street Plaza.
Main Street Plaza, both out, and they're strip centers, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about that.
Multi-tenant. So yeah, each one is unique. They're, you know, located in Mesa. Mesa is the third largest city in Arizona. So
Yes.
I know there's 500,000 people live in the city of Mesa. So very, very busy centers. I have, you know, availability at both locations. So
What kind of tenants do you look for? Tenants, for those who don't really know, you know, commercial real estate, you know, tenants are the small business owners that are looking for shop space, you know, tired of working. Maybe they were online, maybe they're expanding, they're taking their business to another level. You know, you can get small shop space to really large, you know, suite space. And you know, have the ability to even build out your specific space through tenant improvements. So, yeah, so let's talk about what kind of tenants are you looking for?
So at Main Street Plaza, we have about a 4,000 square foot second generation restaurant available. So that's one I really want to focus on, finding you know, a new restaurant user for that space specifically. At Tableland, we have quite a few vacancies. We have about 10 available. But like you said, we have some suites that are right next to each other. So if they're looking for a larger space, instead of like, say, 1,000, 3,000 square feet, we can definitely make that happen.
Okay.
Kind of depending on what their use is. But so
Where are the cross streets? So if anyone's looking at this.
So Tableland Village is on Gilbert and Southern roads.
Okay.
Or Gilbert and Southern, sorry. And then Main Street Plaza is on Higley and Main Street.
Okay. Both locations are really accessible to freeways, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. So there you have it, really close. But you also specialize in tenant representation, right? I mean, these are listings that they're representing the landlord, but you also work with tenants really closely. Explain that a little bit.
Yeah, I have quite a few clients currently that I'm working with, and you know, I really love it. It's something that, you know, each new client of mine is different, what their needs are, what they're looking for. And nothing's better than when you take them, you're showing them spaces, and they find that perfect space. I love that feeling, seeing them happy, and you know, their dreams going to become a reality. And it's fun that I get to help them achieve that.
It's kind of like, you know, in your position, you know, the investment is in the client. The client's investment is in the real property, the actual real estate itself. And, you know, it's kind of a fulfilling and very rewarding to kind of work, you know, and we're talking, there's a lot of stuff that goes into finding space for a tenant, okay? It's a lot of research.
A lot of time.
A lot of time.
Yeah.
There's, you know, a criteria that you have to kind of box in with these details. So you are, you know, trying to, you know, not just find the perfect space, what they want, you know, specifications wise. It's actually going there and then you find it and then making sure all, you know, the foundation is good. There's so many things that go into this. So that must be very rewarding for you.
Absolutely.
I can imagine. And I know you've closed, you know, a few already, and she's like on a roll, y'all. So I'm telling you, Ingrid Tucker, for any tenant representation, for real. And, you know, speaking of which, you know, you were featured in Elevate magazine, which is y'all's, you know, that it's my publication, my online publication. But then what happened is right after she was featured in Elevate magazine, she was featured on Shout Out Arizona. And so check out, I'm going to put the link up here, but this was really nice. So what was that about? Explain a little bit about that, what they highlight for you.
So with Shout Out Arizona, what I thought was great, it's a platform for small business owners essentially. So they want to learn about you and about kind of your journey and what took you to basically the decision to start your own business. And so it was fun to be able to share a little bit about myself personally and a little bit about why I'm passionate about commercial real estate and kind of what I hope to achieve. So
Yeah, that's really exciting. So we talked about, and then now you're moving into, 2020 is coming to an end, right? So what have you done to make the adjustments, moving into 2021? Because this is a big, y'all who are watching this, you just don't even understand what Arizona has gone through. So, we are making the adjustments, but like I said before, we are kind of, having to shift focus in our mindset to accommodate and to adapt to the current business climate, if you will. What is it that you're looking forward to, how to close the end of the year?
wow. So I think for me, it is to keep things moving. I think it's very important to stay as busy as possible, and 2020 has been a hard year for everyone, and I just think it's that keeping that momentum, keeping my focus on my goals, even for myself for 2021, and each day. I mean, I've had to change from working in the office every day to having my primary office at home. So there has been a lot of changes for a lot of people in 2020. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And we talked about earlier is like, especially for all, professionals who have families and children, we're juggling, home life. We've become, thankfully mine's grown, so I don't have to worry about it. But like for, my colleagues and friends who have young children, they're like, over here working, and then they're doing fourth grade math. Okay. I don't know if I'd pass fourth grade math at this point in time, but like I can add. That's all I want to ever do is add. So your kids, are they back in school, or
They're at home though. So
okay.
We've got our own little
They're set up.
We've got our own, we all have our own little office spaces that we kind of work from, and we're making it happen.
Yeah, you guys can actually check out a lot on that Shout Out Arizona feature. It really dives deep into kind of saying, talking about who you are and as a person. And, you really do have to have a passion for business, especially for what you do. Is there something that you would give, like any advice that you would give to somebody who is, just getting into real estate? What kind of advice would you say at this point? Now, because you've gone through it now for, a little over a year, what kind of advice would you give based on your experiences?
I think the biggest thing I would tell someone new kind of to the industry is that, you need to stick with it. It's going to be hard. I don't think anything about commercial real estate is easy.
No.
But I feel that you have to stick with it. It's going to be rewarding in the end. And you just have to set goals for yourself. That's a huge thing with me. I have to write things down, and that's what I'm working towards each and every day. So
that's really true. I think a lot of times, it's up here, and it if you don't write things down, or if you're not putting it really in front of you and making yourself accountable for it, there's a really great training program, an onboarding training program at SVN coming in, but it is kind of grueling in the sense that you are accountable for learning. But because you are learning all these small, intricate details about commercial real estate, you're in the driver's seat. Do a lot of the training, you get in the driver's seat, and then you just press go. You accelerate at what pace you want to. But at the end of the day, it's really client relationship driven. You can have all the knowledge up here, but your relationships are really important in this industry. I would say in any sales,
absolutely,
in any sales industry,
because it's really building that trust between the two of you, and that building that rapport early on and gaining the trust. So and each client's different. But I know each client wants to feel that they have your 100%, focus and attention, and I work really hard to make them feel that they have that. So
I think each client can be really demanding. Let's just face it. But we love it anyway. We're not saying that, but it's just we go back this because this is their investment.
Absolutely.
And we know how important it is, and there's nothing more. I'll repeat myself. There's nothing more fulfilling than actually working with a client and knowing their vision, like you said earlier, and then seeing how that comes true. and you're part of that experience. You're part of their journey. And, the ribbon cutting, the grand opening or the soft opening, when you get to go in there and do that, it really is one of the best feelings, because you see like your work, has helped someone, fulfill something that they've thought of or that they've dreamed of for so long. And that's probably one of the most rewarding parts about commercial real estate, is being part of that journey. So is there anything next for you moving into 2021? I mean, in terms of, are you looking to focus, still on your tenant representation, picking up more, shopping centers?
Absolutely.
There's so much development in Mesa. Like, are you concentrating in the East Valley, or are you all over? Like, where's your?
Mostly East Valley.
Okay.
Is more what I focus on. So,
growing. I mean, you've got the Southeast Valley in general is just. I mean, you've got the Mesa Airport, and then you have all Google, and there's so engineering and aerospace and all the industrials being built out there, and the development, and I mean, Amazon. Like we're the state that everybody's starting to move to to build these big industrial plants. And obviously the more we build here, the more jobs that are here, economically, and is excited to see the growth. And I think that's partly, what Mesa, especially what Mesa's about right now.
Yeah, Mesa is definitely growing, and even just what's happened in downtown Mesa, just to see that transformation over the past few years has been
what kind of transformation is that, if anyone hasn't known?
Just a lot of new development, redevelopment projects in the area. I remember when they built the Mesa Art Center. That has been such an amazing, addition to Mesa, and it, I know it accommodates over 400,000, patrons with different events and art festivals and
that's what people do. They gravitate towards these centers, like these places like that. And if that's when we've talked about redevelopment, that's what happens. An investor will come in and, they look at, the demographics and, what the trade is, what area they're in, and, what would bring value to the city, of Mesa. So I did I interviewed the mayor and the economic developer last year, or maybe it was earlier this year. I don't know. It all blends in together. I don't even remember, but it was a really great article. It was a blog that had about the development out there in the city of Mesa. And it was nice to interview these officials and just listen to them talk about the development, because, they're talking about their city. So, they're really had a lot of pride talking about, some of the things that were happening and people were moving in, and, what they like to see for their city. And this goes with any economic developer in their city. Chandler growing, Gilbert growing, Queen Creek growing. We have, it just keeps going. I honestly, I went to the casino. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, so I went to the casino, and years ago I went to Harrah's, and I won I'd go really late at night, and I remember coming from Phoenix to driving to Harrah's, on Queen Creek, and it just seemed like forever to get there. It was just dark and roads, and it was like a road trip. And then I went there just recently, and there's so much built out. Yeah. There's not much left, because John Wayne Parkway, I think, is the road, and it's only like a 10-minute stretch to the casino, and then there's a whole city.
Yep.
And I remember nothing was built out there. Gives me reason to go to the casino. But the point is that there's so much growth out there that everything is kind of starting to touch together, from city to city, and that's a really good thing for Arizona.
Yep.
So, well, if you guys definitely check out Ingrid Tucker. Again, I will post this her web link online, and if you guys want to follow her, so she does a lot of social media work herself. So she'll go out in properties, and she'll do some videos, and she'll keep you informed on some of her listings or what's coming up to the market. So make sure you guys follow her Facebook page. She's got a business page. I'll also post that to the post that in the link here. And be sure to follow her on Facebook, and you guys can check her out on LinkedIn. Basically, you can find her everywhere, but I'll have all those links for you. And if you have any questions for Ingrid, just comment below in the on YouTube in the comments below, and I'll pass on the information, or I'll make sure she'll follow her podcast so she can answer those questions. And if you guys want to get in touch with her directly, Ingrid Tucker, Tucker at svn.com. And any final thoughts?
Well, I do want to touch on the social media, because I do want to say I probably should have added that, but that is, I feel, so important to being in this industry specifically. I want not only my clients but new clients to possibly have that access to myself, to see kind of what I'm working on. Just to kind of be able to share my new,
just business. Yeah, it's just really informative. What I love about her Facebook and is that she is filming, she's talking about retail, she's touring, she's showing space. She's posting her listings, any events that she was at or is going to, so you can really stay in tune to the market, the current actual market report. There's really some valuable information to understand, what areas demographically are, kind of thriving. So if you are if you're a small business owner and you're looking for tenant representation, you can definitely see some of the work that you're doing or some of the listings that you have, if that fits you. But keeping in mind, no matter what's posted on social media, even if it didn't actually, was relevant to you, she could search. Remember, we talked about this. She can search anywhere in the valley, to find you property. So it's really matter of just, getting to know her, as a person, the way, you all know me, as a podcast show host. And, I try to just keep it real as possible, because, we're talking real business and real people. And that's kind of the reason why I named the show this, because, we really dive in deep to, getting to know the what's inside, because I say this, your soul, the passion that you have, if you do not have the passion, just don't do it at all. Because you all just know that you have to absolutely love what you do every day. You got to wake up and just love what you do, right? So definitely keep her on social media. And if you're a small business owner, definitely look to social media yourself, because this will really pave the way for generating new leads, engaging with new, followers who may have some interest, in your business or your services, like for you, for example. So I think I think we're ready to, end the show. I think, we could talk forever. We could honestly just have this conversation, just crack open a bottle of wine, but it is too early in the morning for that. So we'll save that for next time. But always keeping it real here. So make sure you keep it real out there, and we will catch you next time. Thank you so much. Melissa Swader here with Real Talk, Real Business, Real People, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
High five. Woohoo.